1 second. I just remembered things I need to do before I move house. I'm not moving for about a month, probably, maybe. But I like listing down things as they happen. Please, if you've got any questions for me or the stream, question in brackets. Help me turn them from what is hopefully a list. Give me a minute and I'll be ready. What am I doing? Making sure I've got all the appropriate links up now. That's what I'm doing. That. Anything else major? I got CitizenCon. I got the stuff out about the Overdrive Initiative. Why not? Hello, hello. I was drinking coffee. I was just slurping it down and eating the smallest. Think of the smallest piece of cake you can, then halve it, and that was the size of the piece of cake I was eating. I'm pretty much on a diet, but sometimes I need sweet. Right, I'll be. I'm just gonna buy it. My cat, it's just an allergy pillow. She's just made of allergy. Right. Do that. You might be able to hear some music in the background. You might not. It'll come and go. Actually move on to the next track. There we go. Might be able to hear some of that. Key points. Tell me if it gets too loud. Let's make my beautiful face appear. I've got no... What's happened to my head? Make it so my head appears, at the very least. Tilt. There we go. Bit better. Hi. Boop, boop. There we go. Bam. Bam. It was perfect straight away. Hello! Hope you're all doing well. Cake. It's a cake diet though. I'm on coffee and cake. Oh no. No, I'm trying to be sensible again. I was really good with exercise and diets. And then March happened and there was birthdays and stuff. And I haven't really recovered since then. And my mate Steph's wanted to go out a couple of times since then. And we eat and drink far too much. And yeah. But good. I'm good at the moment. Doing well. Really excited about Alpha 3.23. I'm moving house relatively soon. I'm hoping anyway. I think like sort of exchange of contracts is going to be like next week. And then that means that it's going to definitely sort of go ahead. And I'm super excited for that. I think probably in about a month I'll be at my new place. So that'll be cool. That's going to have much better sort of time for me of recording and creating content. Might be able to expand some content on the channel. I've got cameras and stuff that I'm supposed to set up, and I should have set up my stream to look better and that sort of stuff. And I will put in some actual effort into being a creator when I've moved. That's a board gamer promise. That's a maybe promise. But yes, quite honestly, there's a load of stuff I want to get done and do better. And I've just got more space for it, and I'll actually set up the cameras and stuff, so stuff will look better, be a bit more production quality on some of the stuff. So yeah, look forward to that. I am, and I've got a place for board games. I've done some stuff. I finally, I think my hard drives have not been in my PC for about 3 years. They're sort of just bopped next to it in a pile. I've actually mounted them in the PC now, because I was just like, well, better have them mounted in there before I move with it. So that's looking better. I've cleaned it up a little bit. I've got a Thermaltake E3 core. So it's this sort of white, but basically like wall mounted or open case design, and you put like a piece of tempered glass in front of it. Now I haven't got the piece of tempered glass on. I don't have the rubber standoffs for it. I've bought some new standoffs, and I might just put that on actually when I move. Putting it on before I moved might be a bad idea, because it might get smashed in the moving van. I've got to start moving. Lots of stuff to get sorted out. I cleaned my keyboard though. I was impressed that I almost bought a new keyboard, because I was like, I can't be bothered to clean this. I was like, well, it's going to take me like half an hour to clean it, and I quite like this keyboard. A nice basic mechanical Cooler Master CK352. I actually really like it. It's nice, simple, no frills mechanical keyboard. Oh, I will plug my mouse back in. I've got a wireless Logitech G502 mouse. Not sure I'm talking about my hardware so much, but I am. I've got my Loop Deck, which you'll see a video on soon, which is like a Steam Deck on steroids. It's really cool for Star Citizen. Zin is currently tweaking a profile she's made for it. Got some stuff about Tobii Eye Tracker, because it's got some cool features for 3.23, which is sort of a little bit more refined potentially. So we'll be talking about all that sort of stuff within the next couple of weeks, most likely. Are you ready for new home projects like mowing, storing trees, planting shrubs, etc.? No, none of that. I will pay people to do that for me. pretty much anything that's DIY. Not everything. I can do plumbing. I'm moderately good at plumbing. And moving things around. I can do that. I can do, oh, you want some stuff moved from there to there? I can do that. And buying stuff for the house. I can do all that. I buy all the flooring and everything. But I'll get someone to fit the flooring. Because I'm going to get a nice wooden floor in my front room and my hallway. So I'm handy and capable. That's what I am for DIY. Almost all do-it-yourself projects will be done by someone else. Do it else. Do it your else. Yes. If you would like to ask a question during the live stream, question in brackets, we are going to be talking about CitizenCon, obviously on the 19th and 20th of October. I'm excited for that. 3.23 is going to be coming out pretty soon. I suspect open PTU next week. And CIG attempting to push the build into a live build, if possible, as soon as possible. Like, that could be in a week, that could be 2 weeks, sort of thing. That's the sort of scale we're looking at. Within 2 weeks is my expectation for the live build. And it could move really quickly from open PTU to live. Because from what I've seen of things, there are some target deadlines that they have, and may have sent to and talked about with some other companies that they're trying to hit. Oh, if Plastic Death is here, even if he's not, they're amazing. They just sent me a big donation just before the stream started. It literally made me go, I should probably stream. So genuinely appreciate for that, because CitizenCon tickets were expensive because I bought them for 3 people, myself, Zin, and her partner, because I thought it would be unfair for me to say, well, DC's going to be making some cool stuff for this sort of for Star Citizen. It's going to be making some buttony pad sort of additions to HOTAS and sort of desktop controller stuff. But people don't like some of the stuff he's making, so I wanted to get him down for CitizenCon anyway. Genuinely appreciated. Am I winning the BoredGamer face contest? So, people don't know, on my Discord, you can chuck a picture of my face made with the Star Citizen character creator. I'll probably be using one as an avatar eventually. And the best one I'm going to give a prize to. I've got things like, I've probably got a couple of spare ships that one can have, or I have a Banu cube. I have a Banu cube on my desktop, my last one. I think it's a cube. I think it's a code for a Banu cube. I got a Bar Citizen, the most recent Bar Citizen. I was like, cool. I can give that away. So something like that. Give it a little prize. I have no idea who's winning, because basically what's going to happen is me and some of my mates who hate my face, but just like myself, will look through them and choose the winner. Assuming they're going to choose the winner based on how good it is. The stipulation will be the best one, the one that looks most like me, not the best looking one, because that would be just making it someone else's face. The one that looks most like me, so we'll be deciding that. I might record that to see, and chuck it up to people that are Patreons and channel members. Oh, is it halving day? I follow along with oh shit! Pardon my French. I didn't actually realise it was day. I thought it was a couple of days ago, and then I hadn't really checked. But people that love all the crypto-y, spacey stuff, I'm cool. Not all your boots. I've got a bit of random things and bobs and stuff, mainly concentrated on like Ethereum and stuff. But cool. Which day do you think 3.23 is dropping? Yeah, as I said, within a couple of weeks. Okay, say the stars align Thursday. If the stars align Thursday, if not Thursday after. That's the sort of what I'm thinking. How are you planning to get Henry Cavill to play Warhammer with you? And what will be your faction? So my faction would be Imperial Guard or Astrum Batarum, as they're now known. I like cavalry. I've got a cavalry army like 3D printed. I would love to play 40k against Henry Cavill. I've got a cat. Hello, cat. What do you want? Come on then. Take you out. Tricked me. She tricked me. She maybe thought she wanted to leave, but then she got to the other side and jumped on my bed and decided that she wanted to stay. So I'm long suffering with my cat now because I've recently become allergic. My eyes are a bit weird. Allergic to my cat, and it takes the form of itchy and flaky, scabby eyes. Well, not eyes, but eyelids and all the area around my eyes. And it looks awful. Like, it looks like I've been... some sort of terrible things happen. So I've got to have, like, steroid cream and some antihistamine, some bits, some words, medical words for an antihistamine. And otherwise my face explodes. She's a monster because she wants to sleep on my face. The more I'm sort of like, no. The more she is, yes. If that release date is a leak, is for Squadron 42 Chapter 1 or Star Citizen 1.0? What? Is there a release date leak that I'm not aware of? I don't know anything about a release date leak. What I think is that we'll have Squadron 42 release date announced at CitizenCon this year. Oh, okay. I have seen some leaks about some dates and things actually a little while ago. I thought you meant like a recent one. So there are rumors that CIG are trying to push for a Star Citizen 1.0 build sort of by mid 2026, but it is just rumor at the moment. Stuff for Squadron 42 chapter or episode 1. I'm thinking CitizenCon, they're going to talk about a release date, and it's all going to be pretty soon because they're talking about a minimum viable product. A lot of people may not agree with me that Star Citizen are pushing for a 1.0 minimum viable product, and they'll have it in our hands by the sort of mid of 2026 for 1.0. I think it's genuinely a possibility. As long might be wildly off. I'm like the Star Citizen Nostradamus. 99% of my facts are not facts and they're incorrect. So with a Star Citizen 1.0 release, as a minimum viable product, they could have something potentially out by the end of 2025. It is unlikely, but it is possible. And something for mid-2026 is, for a minimum viable product, a 1.0 release, is, I think, there's a genuine possibility of that. It's a leak of a potential leak. I want to go to myself a little village home, like in Hot Fuzz. BoredGamer little village. Oh my god! Can we pre-order the DC-made controller? Well, Well, that's an interesting one. No. But he does make other controllers from a website called ScrubTier. ScrubTier. So I'm gonna do him. I say do him a favor. Yeah. It's scrubtier.co.uk. Let's bring this up on the screen. My desktop. He makes these controllers called bento boxes. I think lots of other people use his designs now, but he's sort of like the original and the kind of best quality. They're typically for fighting games, so he's pretty handy when it comes to electronics and all that sort of jazz. Yeah, they're pretty well engineered, but he's making some stuff for actual Star Citizen sort of buttony boxy pad things for improving your immersion, but also being interesting. But grubtier.co.uk if people are interested. I'll be promoting him more when he's got some actual Star Citizen stuff. Boop. So we're certainly in, at the moment with Star Citizen, we are approaching, or we are in early access. They call it alpha, but we're approaching that early access phase. At least in my opinion. It's all sort of opinions and I reckons, right, with a lot of this stuff. Yeah, so when I talk about a Star Citizen minimum viable product, I mean exactly that. A minimum viable product does not have to have all of the star systems in. In fact, I think it will have between 4 and 12. And it's going to be based on lots of different things. But I mean, if you look at what they're getting in the game now, and if you go, well, actually, all they really need to do is improve everything that's currently there, getting server meshing properly, and then have data as cargo, improved bounty hunting, and exploration. Yeah. And base building, maybe, yeah. Then they're not actually that far away from all of that. So, I might be wildly off. But I'm saying that I just want to be in sort of mid 2026 and be able to go, I said so. And hopefully the game's not shit. Because they pushed it out in an early version 1. When I say early version 1, it's you know, there's still more features and a huge amount of content to come. Yeah, I mean, that's the thing that's going to take the longest, right? It's the aliens and the architecture for those alien sort of planets and things, in my opinion, now. And that's the sort of stuff, because a lot of other stuff is actually kind of done. So science can be just missions and lots of other mini gameplay loops. Farming and base building, I don't know how interconnected that stuff is. Crafting, like science and farming, maybe. Crafting, I'm not sure if that is that far off. Fabricators, but hard to tell, right? I can only tell you what I reckon, and I'm forever the optimist. Speaking of leaks, how do you feel about Pipeline getting shut down via cease and desist? I've not actually heard of that either. Is that actually a thing? So, the thing with leaks and doing leaks as a community / business or whatever they're doing it as, CIG have first right to publish. If you are producing a leak and producing content on a leak, CIG can go, you can't do that. As far as I'm aware, that's how it works. This is, I'm not a lawyer. I'm and lots of I reckons, because it might be different in different sort of states and stuff like that as well, and around the world. And I think CIG has got it well within their rights to ask them to cease and desist because of the way they operate. They literally go and encourage devs to leak and Evocati to leak. They go, come on here. If you know stuff, tell us here. And it's much more centralized, right? It's not them covering a leak that has appeared in the world. They are encouraging them to come on out and then sort of covering it. I can understand why cease and desist would come out from CIG. I'm not sure if it's essential though. I don't think in my opinion, they don't do that much damage. That said, maybe they do, and again, lots of I reckons. I'm going to tell you something, Shark's Bite. I don't check out Star Citizen leaks very often, just because I have a reasonably good set of sources within CIG anyway, which keep me relatively apprised of anything that's happening. And obviously, a lot of the leak stuff doesn't come to fruition. It's incorrect at point of origin, or just changes heavily. I mean, some of the stuff's correct, yeah. And obviously, I mean, I talk about stuff in theory crafting terms all the time as well. So, I mean, is there a difference? I suppose the difference is you're saying it comes from an official source. It's a tricksy one. Do I think they deserve a cease and desist? I think CIG is within their rights to do it. I would have said that CIG probably, if I was at CIG, I would have just let them get away with it unless they're releasing stuff that's damaging the... I don't think it does. Does it just create a community that are also interested in Star Citizen? I don't know. I don't know how I feel about it. It's an odd one. There's a lot of things going through my head. I'm going to let my cat out of my room. Oh, hello. Where was I? So maybe there's a possibility that leaks and that sort of stuff can become compliant without having to shut down, right? I'll look into it. I hadn't realised that there was a thing. So sort of a mixture of, is it a shame? I don't like the way they went about sort of encouraging Evocati and devs to leak. I'll tell you that. It's yeah. I don't know. It's a complicated one. I'll look into it and have a think. Is it true that ship prices are going up? In-game, yes. They are big economy update, changing the prices of ships and FPS gear and weapons and stuff like that. And ships are, I believe, for the most part, all going up in price and sort of changing their values based on size, rarity, materials they're made of, all that sort of stuff. Obviously, eventually that will be dynamic, but it's going to be relatively static in the short to mid term. And they're rejigging exactly what you get for UEC or Alpha UEC rewards as well. So big changes in the value of Alpha UEC. Yet minimum viable product does sound like a horror story that happened to Halo Infinite and many other things. But when you talk about Star Citizen 1.0, I think you have to talk about it in terms of minimum viable product. Um, ah, Sharks Bait. Okay, well, it was an interesting conversation, so it appears that pipeline thing was an April Fool's, which sort of makes sense. Um, as I said, I would have thought CIG would have let most stuff go. Do you think they're in their rights to cease and desist? Just because of the centralization of their community, but hopefully they'll leave it for the most part. Does Squadron 42 allow joysticks and throttles? I believe so, yes. And various other control devices, but yes. Are settings being worked on specifically for multiple joysticks and button controllers? Yes, they are aware of them. They want to support all of them or a huge range. I can't speak if for each specific controller, but it will be a huge range. And I believe to an extent custom. I think it's interesting that they're increasing ship prices and then also making it harder to earn money. What's your thoughts? So you do want the economy to be healthy in a way that people feel like they've earned something. You don't want to be able to just easily get everything in the game. Bam. They're starting to move out of testing in the same sort of way. Now, it might not necessarily be harder to make money in all situations, but they do want our PVC to have a more value. They want to decrease inflation. Any word on repair, refuel, and rearm will work on capital ships and for ships in the hangar. Thanks for years of great content. So a lot of it can be done by hand, and there'll be facilities on board ships. We sort of know that. Exactly how it's going to work, I don't know. So because they could do it by kiosk and console nearby, but they could also have it physical, with NPCs walking up to it, or players walking up to it and doing those functions. Or maybe it'll be both. But there's no specific exactly how it's going to work yet. I mean, we know some of it's going to be done by drones and things like that as well. Ships should be hard to farm for, otherwise what's the point? Everyone would have every ship available, which defeats the point of farming and saving money. Yes, 100%, especially for those larger, more expensive ships. And even military gear and components, right? I think some components are going to be hugely valued. And I think that components will probably be worth a lot more than the hull of your ship, to a good extent anyway. Bear with me 1 second. My phone's making loads of noise. Anything particular? No, I just think it's just making noise. My phone's just making noises. Beep boop. Another tracker. Oh, I got loads of messages. Right. Right. Bear with me 1 second, because people have messaged me about things. I will be back in a second. Feel free to ask some questions. Boop. Oh, damn it. Leave page. Message. Beep. And this person. Perfect. Sorry about that. What else we got? If I ever have to go through the terror of losing my hair, may I have a beautiful dame as BoredGamer. So, the problem is, okay, I look like a perfect egg from the front and a perfect potato from the side. I've got a big old long head. So I appreciate that, Acid Twin. However, I think that, okay, people like hair and they like bald. No one likes balding. That's all it is. People don't like people balding. So if you're balding, get rid of your hair. Be bald, okay? Or wear a wig or a hat. But don't worry about being balding because you can just go bald. But being bald is great. People love you. They're like, oh, look at him. He's confident. Or a meathead, and then people leave you alone anyway. Do you think your cat will barrel around your new house just knocking stuff over? So although it's my cat, I'm leaving it in this house. So at the moment I'm living with my mother because I was looking after my dad while he went through brain cancer. But I'm leaving the cat here because my cat is 19 years old. My mother wants to keep the cat. I'm giving up my cat, but the move of a very anxious cat would probably not be particularly healthy for her. And when I say my cat, it's my family cat. But I mean, it loves me the most. What do you expect the final price of the 890 jump should be once the balance is done? Oh! They did say a while ago, it's hard to tell. I don't know. Incredibly expensive, though. It will be the most expensive ship that you can buy in Star Citizen in the game at the time. Until the things like the Idris and the Javelin come in. Will it be more expensive than an Idris? No, I think the Idris is probably going to be more expensive than it. Probably. Because it's sort of like a billionaire's super yacht, right? It's going to be many millions of Alpha UEC. I mean, in 3.23, I'd expect it to be, but by live, maybe 150 million. I think I'm right on the sort of estimates of that sort of stuff. Like between 100 and 150 million would be my expectation. I think that's Oh my god. The name Fat Safe for a Cat is lovely. Will I be able to have cats on board while rocking a cats on board bumper sticker? So there are supposed to be pets in Star Citizen and things like that. And obviously we know that there are animals now for 3.23 with the Copians, which are the sort of dogs, jackals, hyenas, and whatever you want to call them, and the Maroks, which are the birds. Maraks? Marok? Morak? Morak. One of them. Not many billionaires can afford high-end military ships. Do you know what? I think they probably can. Maybe not high-end ships, right? Like naval ships might be. I'm not sure the sort of price scale. Remove the Polaris will be a countermeasure to the Idris for the Resistant Universe. I mean, it's a missile missile. What size is it now? Is it a Corvette or is it... It's a Corvette, isn't it, rather than a frigate? Assume it's a corvette, a torpedo corvette. Yes, it'd be very powerful against the Idris. However, if an Idris engages it at a longer range, yeah, so with its fighter escorts out, it sends its fighter team after it first, well then, the Idris might be in a better position, right? And obviously the Idris has got its railgun and stuff like that going on as well. So, can the Idris shoot down the torpedoes before it gets there? The A9 Jump is just a yacht. The Idris and Javelin are warships. They have been. They have to be more, unless. Yeah. No. I'm with you on that. I'm just trying to sort of work out, and I'm talking about the sort of civilian version of the Idris as well. But no, I think you're right. I think it's going to have to be significantly more expensive. Right? You're right. They are ships of war. Do you think the Apollo series will be ready by Invictus by Fleet Week? No. I do think we're going to see the Apollos later this year, but not by Invictus. $13 billion for a US aircraft carrier. Okay. I did not know the sort of values. Bear with me 1 second. My cat wants to be let in again now. She whines a lot. She's whining a lot. Yeah, let alone run it. So I don't think people are going to realize. I don't think they realize how expensive it's going to be to run those large capital ships in game. And it's going to be big maintenance costs and costs of like hangars and things like that, is what I expect. Yeah, I hope a full military spec A component set is worth more than the hull of the ship. Personally, yes, as do I, and I think it will be. I think they're going to take a lot of stuff from Eve like that, or Eve has come up with natural solutions to those sort of things. And I think outfitting, and I'm really looking forward to modularity as well in 3.20, 3.1, assumedly, with the Retaliator and modularity for it. So then they're going to expand that out to a load of other ships. So since the Kraken isn't technically a military ship, but it is a civilian military ship, mercs and pirates, will Kraken cost more in game than the A90 Jump? Yes. So the A90 Jump's got a load of functionality, right? But no, the Kraken's got a load of functionality, right? And yes, the 890 Jump is supposed to be an expensive ship, sort of for status symbol. However, the Kraken is kind of military, and it's got a lot going on with it, with sort of repair, rearm, and refuel pads, and its huge amount of cargo space, and the shops and all that sort of jazz. But pricing's hard, right? Will there be a system to borrow money and use credits in game? So there's a system to send it, and there'll be missions where you can effectively put deposits down to then do like a larger scale cargo mission, but you don't get as much of a reward. It's a good one as well, though, with the Kraken, because obviously Drake ships effectively cheaper than similar ships. I wonder if we can sell our hangars. I suspect we rent personal hangars, with my expectation. Maybe you buy them. One core mechanic is dynamic server meshing, with a capital ship having its own server in the mesh, or planet orbiting having its own server in the mesh. Yep. CIG will have to be able to move server boundaries within the meshes seamlessly. Yes, so they'll have to be able to move and nest within each other seamlessly, and be able to spin up and down seamlessly, right? That's sort of giving the authority to another server and saying, I want authority over this server, and then sharing those authorities and what's going on between them. Now, I'm not sure if we need dynamic server meshing for Star Citizen version 1. Call me mad. I suspect they'll want it, but I don't think we need it in the minimum viable product. Buy/rent your hangar unless you built it. So, I think you'll be able to have underground hangars as part of bases that you build. I think that's what they're going to do, because they have the pads now. I would say in 3.25.x, 3.23.x, they have the kiosks and pads where your ships can effectively come out of the ground. I think that's what we'll have for bases. Yeah, I think the personal hangar stuff is the first step towards having player bases, right? It's going to be a step towards that, and people are going to be using that as, this is my base at the moment. Yeah, how messy can we make it just from people eating food and drink and stuff, and those items being left there? Many of us have lots of hangars due to pledging for lots of ships. Do you think that will allow us to have multiple hangars in a single landing zone, or are those extra hangars useless? Oh, good question. I would expect those extra hangars to be useless in the same landing zone. I expect us to have just the largest one in that zone. Dynamic server meshing might change so much internally that large positions of the game had to be rebuilt after. You think so? I'm not a technical expert on it. I know what they've said, and I know what I expect from it. But I was expecting that the systems they put in place till now, including like the object containers, basically the way I understood it, dynamic server meshing worked with object containers to go. You can stream this object container in or out, or it can be nested. Or say stream it in or out. It can become a server. I might have just oversimplified my understanding of it, though. So it's, yeah, shame that the cargo mechanics and the hangar stuff was pushed to a later patch, but still within the 3.23 cycle. So it's not going to be too long. It's not going to be too long at all before we get that. 3.23 has a ridiculous amount of features, and it's kind of still growing, and we'll still net up for features in the initial launch. Why does a burned potato smell so good? Why burned popcorn smells so bad? Just the way God made them. Will volumetric clouds be in 3.23 patch? As part of like 3.23.x or whatever. So, we do know that there are big cloud updates as part of 3.23 that are now in the EPTU. So it's making them look a load better. At the very least. Beyond that, I don't know. I have a banner merchantman. Will that be what is used for hangar size or largest flyable loaner? It's the largest ship you have that is accessible in game. Yeah? So if your loaner is the largest ship you have, so whatever you get for the banner merchantman at the moment, and it's in existing game, like if it's a caterpillar and that exists in game, then that's the ship that you get the hangar for. See what I mean? Eventually, it'll be whatever ship you have in game. We worked on your BoredGamer cookbook. No. However, my mates do maintain a food website, which I contribute very little to, but they contribute quite a lot to, and I will start using that to explore some recipes. I'm sort of waiting until I've got my new house and new kitchen and stuff to start the potential for doing things like that and even recording cooking streams, whatever. The C2 for the banner merchant at the moment. That makes sense. Yeah, that makes more sense. It'll be a fighter as well, I suspect. Like it'll be the and a defender as well. We'd like to do that. We need to invent some Star Citizen dishes. There's some reasonable amount in lore already. And you see dishes expanding out on like Alien Days and at CitizenCons and stuff like that because they go, wow, what would we serve at a bar or whatever. Obviously, they've got the various types of burrito and pizzas and stuff like that. And double dogs. Right. I am, if I haven't already, going to go and release a video. I just wanted to turn up and to say sort of hello, give a bit of an update, because I didn't stream yesterday. And I wanted to say thank you so much to Plastic Death, who sent me a big donation as well to help pay for CitizenCon tickets. It's genuinely appreciated. Don't forget pyro food. Oh, not the grubs and stuff. Whammer burgers. Right. I'm going to see who else is streaming. Bear with me 1 second. And then we'll sort of round up. Boop, boop, boop. This is even around. Send you over to Morph. He's a beautiful boy. Alright. Yeah, so, really excited for 3.23. I think we are going to have that within our hands within the next couple of weeks. And I mean, it's possible as early as next Thursday, but that would be, again, if the stars aligned. I do think we're moving towards a Star Citizen 1.0 minimum viable product by mid-2026. But that's my crazy Nostradamus prediction. And really looking forward to Fleet Week. It was exciting. Going to be May. Should see a load more ships. I think there's going to be a bit more interesting stuff going on as well with this one. You see things like maybe we'll see an Idris tour as well, because obviously with and we've got Xenothreat 1.2 coming up as well with the Idris boarding as part of it. Yeah. Hope everyone was doing well. Thank you very much for watching. Hope you're not too disappointed for cargo getting pushed out of the initial release of 3.23, but it should be here relatively soon with cargo updates and the hangar updates. It's amazing patch though, like genuinely huge amount going on. And if you want to grab CitizenCon tickets, it's probably your last chance to do that this week. And Overdrive, at least a week it's going to be going on for, maybe 2. Get involved with that if you are so interested. Anyway, love you guys loads. Have a great weekend. Thank you so much for watching. Genuinely appreciated. And if you've got any suggestions or whatever, chuck it in my Discord or my comments or whatever. Peace.